If you're running OpenClaw using a single model, you're overspending by at least 50%. How do I know? Well, I asked my sub-agent to prove it. Just last week, I spent over $150 using OpenClaw in just 5 hours. But don't worry, I'm gonna help you avoid that. In today's video, I'm gonna show you how to set up OpenClaw on a VPS and design your own self-optimizing setup. OpenClaw itself is open source, which means it costs $0, but it needs an AI model behind it, and the AI model charges per token, every message in and every message out. As you can see here, there's quite a difference between the price of each model and even differs between each provider as well for the specific models, which are competing with each other. Ultimately, what you need to know is this: it's calculated per million input tokens used and per million output tokens you receive. So do you see the problem? If you just picked Cloud Opus 4.6 because it's what everyone recommends and you're running OpenClaw 24/7, handling hundreds of tasks, and you got cron jobs and a bunch of other things going on, you could easily hit anywhere between $400 to $600 a month in API costs alone. So the question isn't, how do I set up OpenClaw? The real question is, how do I set it up so it's actually affordable to run long term? We'll start with setting up OpenClaw's infrastructure. I'll be setting up OpenClaw on Hostinger because they have a one-click OpenClaw Docker template, which means there's no manual server configuration needed. Once you navigate to Hostinger, you're going to want to create an account. And once your account is created, you're going to want to navigate to the VPS tab. From this VPS tab, you're going to want to select Get New VPS Plan, and you're going to want to select the KVM VPS. From there, you're going to want to choose a server location. We're going to just choose the United States, and then you're going to want to select the operating system. You're going to want to select this one. And from here, you're going to want to select one of the LTS versions. All right, I'm going to go with the 24.04 LTS version. Now you want to create a root password or an SSH key. We're going to go with root password. You want to go next. And then you want to make sure you have malware scanner selected as well as Docker manager. You want to select next. Then you're going to want to select your server. I recommend KVM2. All right, it's $6.99 a month, but it really comes out to $10 a month when you go month to month. And then it upgrades to $17.99 a month. But for now, I would definitely recommend the KVM2 plan. You want to select that, pay for it, and then launch it. Once your server is running, you're going to want to go ahead and click Manage. And the first thing you're going to want to do is make sure that malware is activated. Active, perfect. And then next, you're going to want to head over to Docker Manager, Projects. And if you haven't already downloaded Docker, you want to download Docker. After you download Docker, you want to navigate to the catalog, and you're going to want to search for OpenClaw. Once you've found it, you want to press Deploy. And this is where you add your API keys and you copy and save your OpenClaw Gateway token. So I'm going to go ahead and add my Anthropic, OpenAI, and Gemini API keys. And of course, you're going to want to save your gateway token separately and then deploy. Once your OpenClaw project is deployed, you can go ahead and open it. You also will have to use that gateway token to log into your OpenClaw project. All right, once you're in OpenClaw, the first thing you're going to want to do is name your OpenClaw as well as kind of introduce yourself so it knows who to call you. As you can tell, it knows to call me Lenny, and I named my OpenClaw Nova. So currently we're using Sonnet 4.6. It's the newest Sonnet model, and it's the perfect fit for configuring our cost-optimized setup. There are a few really important steps in this process, but it all starts with OpenClaw having a full understanding of what it can and can't do, and then designing the optimal model configuration for itself. So here's the prompt we're going to use to have it do that research. And the objective is for OpenClaw to build a comprehensive, accurate understanding of what it can do. All right, let's see what it came up with. So it looks like it mapped out a couple things. It's capability map, component glossary, architecture and message flow, configuration overview, model and provider overview, tool systems, cron overview, security overview. So ultimately, has a really good understanding of itself, which is having OpenClaw do its own cost optimization analysis. So this is the prompt we're going to be using for the cost optimization analysis. And its objective is to produce a complete numbers-backed model routing plan for this OpenClaw setup, including provider pricing, verification, OpenClaw compatibility checks, and monthly cost comparison against a single model baseline. By the way, if you want the exact prompts I just used, plus the sub-agent skill file I'm going to build later in this video, again, all ready to paste into your own setup, I put everything in our free Skool community, link in description. Grab the templates and you can have your system optimized in minutes. But all right, let's review what it recommended. It created 3 configurations for us. Configuration C is the baseline configuration that it made and it's using Opus 4.6 with the estimated monthly cost of $496. Configuration A consists of Anthropic and OpenAI models. And when you combine those models and use them specifically for their best use cases, the monthly cost gets down to $310, equating a savings of $186 from our baseline, and ultimately a 37% cost savings. Finally, configuration B includes Anthropic, OpenAI, and Gemini. And when we use every single provider, optimizing each of the models for the specific use cases they're supposed to be used for, we get the monthly estimated cost down to $233. That's a savings of $263 a month, which equates to a 53% cost savings. So the next thing we want to do is have OpenClaw actually apply these configurations. Can you apply the appropriate configuration based on your research? So it's finished pushing the configuration. So overall, the projected savings based off of the configuration that we had before is around $186 a month or $263 a month. So now that the configuration is pushed, here's the final piece. And this is what makes the setup future-proof. AI model pricing changes consistently. So we're going to build a sub-agent that periodically checks for new model releases and reruns the cost optimization analysis we just created. First, let's create a custom skill in our OpenClaw workspace. Here is the skill definition. And basically the purpose is continuously keep an OpenClaw instance cost efficient without degrading quality. So the skill was just created, and how do you trigger it? Well, you can trigger it by just asking run cost optimizer. But what we're going to want to do is actually set up that weekly trigger via a cron job. So here is the prompt for setting up the weekly cron job. And when it does run this report, it's going to send the report directly to us on Telegram. Now, if you set it up through WhatsApp, you can adjust this to send it to you on WhatsApp or whatever configuration in which you'd like to receive that weekly report. Let's go ahead and run this. Now that the weekly self-optimizing sub-agent is set up, let's go ahead and see what a test report would look like. Please generate a test report. And here's what the weekly report looks like when it runs. It has the sources, has what's new, the new models detected, depreciations, none, current routing, which is the primary and fallback models, notable per job overrides, the cost math. We have the baseline weight and baseline monthly recommendations, which is essentially no changes needed because we just optimized this, and the overall status, which is essentially no action needed. But when something does change, say Anthropic drops a cheaper model or Google releases Gemini 3.2, it flags it, shows you the math, and proposes the update. So today we deployed OpenClaw on a hosting or VPS. We had it analyze itself. We had it research every available model under OpenAI, Anthropic, and Google. And we built a sub-agent that continuously optimizes your setup. Same quality where it matters, 50% cheaper, and only gets better with time. If you got any value from this video, really appreciate it if you like the video and subscribe to the channel. And leave a comment, what OpenClaw video would you like to see me create next? Other than that, see you next time. Peace.